Question on the new immigration law in Texas. Does White House have any thoughts on that law? And there appears to be some litigation that's starting over the law as well.
Look, this is an extreme law that will not and does not make the communities in Texas safer. It just doesn't. And I think to add to that is that it is very much in line with what Republicans, many Republicans like to do or tend to do, which is demonize immigrants and also dehumanize immigrants. This is part of this. And so this is not who we are as a country. This is not who we should be as a country. Communities should not be individually targeted and put into harm's way. And this is what we're seeing. Again, this is something that Governor Abbott has done over and over again. There are plenty of examples that I've listed out from here before. Whether it's leaving migrants in the side of the road in the middle of winter, installed razor wire near the border, making it more dangerous for Border Patrol to do their jobs, and placed bayous in the river, making it harder for Border Patrol to do their jobs as well.
Oh my God.
So this is certainly extreme as we see it, and it is incredibly unfortunate, but this is what we see from particular Republicans trying to dehumanize a group of people who are coming here, or some of them trying to migrate here, and they're putting them in harm's way. What a loser.
He was up to negotiations of the supplemental. Obviously, immigration is an important part of that. Where are we at on that?
So look, the president has been very clear that he wants to make sure that we come to a bipartisan agreement on this issue, and that border security obviously is important, and we need to figure this out in a bipartisan way. And so he's encouraged by the discussions that we've been seeing. There is progress that is happening, and the president also believes that we need to fix immigration. Right? This is why on his first day in office he put forth a comprehensive immigration legislation, and he took this very seriously. That's why he put forth a supplemental plan, right? That had part of it is adding certainly more law enforcement to the border, right? Making sure that we're taking additional actions. But that's why he put forth that supplemental, that emergency supplemental. So he thinks it's really important. We think that we're headed in the right direction. We are encouraged by the discussions that are happening on the Hill, and so we want to make sure we get to a bipartisan agreement on this. Okay.
On the Texas immigration law, the ACLU has already filed a lawsuit. Does the president support the government also taking legal action here?
So the Department of Justice, they're going to decide whether they're going to file a lawsuit here. Certainly, I'm not going to get ahead of that.
In 2012, the Supreme Court upheld the rule that the federal government, not individual states, have the authority to decide who gets into the country. But this is now obviously a more conservative court. I mean, are you concerned that the position may now be changed, that a conservative court could use this to revisit?
I mean, look, I can't speak to the conservative court. You said it in your question to me, which is like the federal court, not individual state, is in charge of determining how and when to remove non-citizens for violating immigration laws. That is where that sits, and that's where that belongs. And look, as you just stated, in 2012 it happened, and it was struck down, right? The court struck that down. As far as what's going to happen next, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, certainly is going to make that decision. I'm not going to get ahead of it, but there is precedent. It was struck down. I can't speak for this current court, but what I can say is, and what I said at the top when I was asked this question by Chris, is the law is incredibly extreme, and it does not make communities in Texas safer. It just does not. It dehumanizes, which is what Republicans tend to do. Certain Republicans tend to do is dehumanize immigrants and also demonize them, and that's what we're seeing here.
Thank you, Corinne. Quick question on the U.S. Steel acquisition. Several lawmakers, including John Fetterman, have come out now against the U.S. Steel acquisition by Japan's Nippon Steel. Just wondering how the White House views this proposed deal, and do you have any concerns around market consolidation or national security?
So given this could potentially be a regulatory review, I'm not going to speak to any specifics of this transaction, so I'm going to be very careful. But what I can do is speak about it more broadly. And one of the things that I can share that the President believes is that steelworkers' commitment to protecting American manufacturing that supports family, sustaining union jobs, that is something that the President supports. That is something that the President certainly shares with steelworkers. But I'm going to be super mindful and certainly not comment on the review. And I'll also say that the President is committed to competition because he knows competition means lower costs for consumers and higher wages for workers. That's incredibly important, but going to be really careful on not saying too much, again, because this might be under regulatory review.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The Vice President's abortion tour, she's starting the tour in Wisconsin in January. Is this tour primarily going to focus on battleground states? And also wanted to know if the President at any point will be joining her?
So your last question first. I don't have any plans or announcement to make this time on the President's plans, but certainly we'll have more to come. As to the Vice President's and where she's going to be going, there'll be certainly more to share. I'll share a couple of things more broadly. As you just stated, she's going to kick off a nationwide reproductive freedoms tour to continue fighting back against extreme attacks on reproductive care. She will hit the road in states across the country, bring together thousands of people, and discuss the harm caused by extreme abortion bans while sharing stories of those who have been impacted. The tour, as reported, it's going to be kicked off in an event in Wisconsin on January 22nd, which is, as I'm sure you all are following, is the 51st anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And since Roe v. Wade was overturned, Republican elected officials have imposed dangerous abortion bans that put the health of women in jeopardy. As we've heard stories over and over again, force women to travel out of state for care and threaten to criminalize doctors. So the President and the Vice President are going to continue to show their fight to protect women's right to make a decision on their own health care. And that decision, as we all know, is incredibly difficult. Those types of health care decisions that women have to make is incredibly difficult. And it should be something that they decide along with their family and their doctors. It should not be decided by politicians.